All right, so we got a little bit of a bonus action podcast for you guys this week. Normally, I just record this once a week, and let me break it down for you guys. After game days, whether it's on Sunday nights, Sunday afternoons, Monday nights, Thursday nights, whenever the hell they play, I immediately record, and I produce my show. I put it all together all by myself for the next day's viewing. So that's normally how I do it. I didn't get a chance. Realistic Randy, Mediokr, Best Sports Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And by the way, yes, I'm still wearing this Slash outfit, damn it. Why? Because Halloween hasn't passed yet, and I look good in it. I don't need no mofo haters. I don't have time for that. But in all seriousness, I didn't have a chance to listen to that Mike Zimmer press conference after the Vikings lost to the Saints 30-20 at US Bank Stadium. And in that, now here's how this worked out. I think I've seriously turned the corner as far as getting mad with this team. I know I get fired up. I know I've got the energy and all that stuff. I love this team. I've been rooting for this team for 18 years, damn it, ever since middle school. I love this team. But I've learned to love them, not necessarily from a distance. I guess from a distance where it's like, if you do something stupid, I'm not going to be mad anymore. This is just what we signed up for as Vikings fans. And so I said to myself all throughout that game yesterday, my wife actually was very surprised because normally I get fired up. I'm like, what the missed kick, the missed extra point, the turnovers, Stephon Diggs missing his route, the half-ass, lazy-ass call play, not even call playing, just the execution. No sense of urgency from this team. So I said to myself, I was like, hey, it's fine. It's no big deal. I expected them to lose anyway. I'm chilling. It's what this team cannot get me fired up anymore. I'm all fired up out. And then all of a sudden, I listened to that press conference by Mike Zimmer, both yesterday and today. And a couple of things that he said, two things that he said that had me fired up to where it's like, okay, this is a podcast that needs to be said. And before, let me go ahead and preface it by saying this. Vikings Twitter is a hell of a drug. Not even a hell of a drug. It's basically just a group. Look, I love Vikings Twitter. I love the back and forth that we do. But sometimes y'all dudes really love to come after me, man. Because a couple of weeks ago, earlier in the season, I said Mike Zimmer, I alluded to him, Mike Zimmer should be on the hot seat. And all after that 3-game win streak, they're like, oh, everybody was saying. And here's the thing. If you're going to tweet me, if you're going to tweet about me, don't just subtweet me. At me, at realistic_Randy. Stop these subtweets. If you got something to say about my critique about Mike Zimmer or anything about this team, just at me. It's all good. I love the back and forth. But so many people say, oh, yeah, everyone's coming after Mike Zimmer. And a couple of weeks ago, he was on the hot seat. And don't call it realisticness or whatever the hell it is you want to call it. Am I wrong about my criticism of Mike Zimmer? Absolutely not. You know why? Because of a couple of reasons. Number one, Mike Zimmer, if we're being real about this, 100% real about this, Mike Zimmer has zero influence over the offense. He doesn't do a damn thing. Even though he's the head coach, he doesn't do a damn thing on offense. He primarily focuses on the defense. That's all he does. And what happened? You've been a head coach for this Vikings team. This is what, your 5th year now. So the previous 4 seasons, you've been to the playoff twice. You have one playoff victory, Mike Zimmer. How did you get that playoff victory? Because of the offense. Something you had nothing to do with. And number two, the offense ended up having us win that game off the Minneapolis Miracle to save the defense's ass after blowing a 17-point lead after the first half. Or is that facts or is that facts? Come on now. Then we get into the regular season. We already know about the NFC Championship game. It is what it is. Then we get into the regular season. And the only reason why we didn't have a worse record through the first, 3 or 4 games of the season was because Kirk Cousins and the offense kept us in that game. This defense couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers on one leg. What was that, in week 2? And you let Josh Allen just look like Johnny Unitas or whoever the hell else, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback over you. And then the only reason we even had a chance to possibly tie or win the game against the Rams was because of the offense. All right? Your defense through the playoffs of last year and the first, 4 or 5 weeks of the season has been garbage or was garbage. That's right. I said it. Garbage. G-A-R-bitch. There's nothing taken away from that. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. And then we get into the last 3 weeks. Yes, the defense has stepped up. It's looked very, very well. But my thing about Mike Zimmer is I get people say, well, look at what we had in the past. Brad Childress and Leslie Frazier and Mike Tyson. You're right. He is better than all those head coaches we've ever had, but that doesn't mean you have to get complacent with this dude just because the pass stunk. Last time I checked, I've said this many times. This offensive personnel we have, the weapons, the quarterback, everything we have, there is no excuse why we shouldn't have an offense that is somewhat similar to the Los Angeles Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're talking about trying to win a Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl caliber contenders or whatever, Super Bowl champion contenders, whatever the hell else you want to categorize it, they don't look as stupid as the Vikings have done, especially yesterday. Trotting up the field, no sense of urgency, no coaching whatsoever. You basically quit. You basically quit in that game. And you know what got me fired up about that press conference? This is what Mike Zimmer said. Hold on, I'm blind doing this podcast. This dude said,
for a lot of the season, it seems like clock management in hurry-up situations has been a problem. What do you think accounts for that?
That's a problem? That I didn't try to score with 30 seconds left when ball's backed up?
No, I'm referring to the 5-minute drive when you got the ball with 9 minutes left, and then also there have been some 2-minute drives earlier in the season that...
I think you're 100% totally wrong with clock management. Okay. So I go through it every day. I think you're 100% totally wrong.
100% totally wrong. And there was two things that he said besides that got me ticked off. Oh, what? Oh, the clock management was wrong? What, because I didn't go to try to score with 30 seconds left that far back? Are you serious right now? With those weapons you have, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, with this $84 million investment with that quarterback Kirk Cousins and that secondary of the New Orleans Saints, you felt compelled to run the ball and end the first half down 4 points? Are we being for real? That's what you did? After momentum swung, you had 30 seconds left and 2 timeouts, and you didn't give a rat's ass. You just played extra conservative. You would have thought this was the Chicago Bears led by Rex Grossman. Oh, we're just going to let the defense take care of it. Are you serious right now? I do have a problem with that. This offense has a chance to put up some damn points, and if you're going to be extra conservative, this clock management for Mike Zimmer has been terrible throughout his tenure with the Minnesota Vikings. I don't want to hear nothing about that. And then what was the second thing he said? He said, oh, I get it. First he said, oh, you got a problem because we didn't try to score with 30 seconds left. You damn right I got a problem with that. But then the second thing he said, this dude said, we work on it a lot. I completely disagree. You work on that? You work on being complacent? That's what you're talking about? And then fast forward to today. So this is Monday. This podcast is going to come out Tuesday. This dude had the audacity on Monday's press conference to say this.
How much of that last night, I think
I'm going to come in here and tweet this, tweet that, whatever. My daughter wanted me to put on a shirt. It's unbelievably rude, but that's okay, I guess.
Reporters tweeting during a press conference is apparently rude to Mike Zimmer. It's their job. It's how they keep the public in the know. What are you talking about, Rob? That's rude? I'll tell you what's rude, Mike Zimmer. Going out there, giving a half-ass performance, quitting on the job while tens of thousands of people paid their hard-earned money to watch that piece of crap in person. You serious right now? And I can't believe this whole time I've been talking about Super Bowl. We talking about Super Bowl? Forget the Super Bowl. We talking about trying to make the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs. I think they'll win this division. But if you're talking about trying to be championship contenders, that's not going to get it done. I don't care how much talent you have. You got this coach that goes out there and just act like, we're just going to get extra conservative. And then you wasted 5 freaking minutes left, down 3 scores, 9.5 minutes left in the damn game. And that's what's crazy. That entire game, I sat back. I was so calm. I just didn't care. I didn't have it in me anymore to even rant about it because I'm like, this is just what the Vikings do. I accept it. This is who they are. But after that press conference, where this dude just gets up there, and you know what's funny? Mike Zimmer, this dude goes out of his way to call out his players. You called the offensive line soft in 2016, which I agree with. You call out Anthony Barr and his laziness, which I agree with. You do all this bravado, and talk about, why did you get rid of this kicker? Did you see the game? Well, guess what, Mike Zimmer? You get up there and act all big and bad and act like your stuff don't stink, and then when you get called out for your crappy coaching performance, because, again, you have nothing to do with the offense. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. The one playoff win that you have was due solely to the offense because your defense blew a 17-point lead. And you get up there, and if anyone has the audacity to call you out and just say, hey, what's going on? You are 100% wrong. Are you serious right now? And everyone that comes at me, oh, you leave Mike Zimmer alone and all this, well, then build him a damn statue. You're acting like this. One of my Twitter followers He said this dude, and I love it. He said, this dude has one playoff win in 5 years, and we acting like this dude is Bill Belichick. I'm sorry, is the goal simply trying to squeak into the playoffs, or is it trying to win a championship? Because you lost the game. Who knows? I predicted that the Vikings would lose, but you had a chance to win. Who knows what will happen? You ultimately basically cost this team a game. I know that the Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, those turnovers, those shifted all momentum, but you possibly could have still won that game if it wasn't for your laziness and sitting there just, we're just gonna bow down and just deal with it and just see what happens. That was pathetic. Are you serious right now? What has Mike Zimmer done? What has he done? Who does this dude think he is? He doesn't allow any criticism. He's not prone to criticism. He doesn't deserve any whatsoever. That's what we going with? Man, get that weak ass stuff out of here, man. I'm not dealing with I've had it with this stuff. This dude really gets up. I'm this and that. You need to be a better coach, a head coach, and not just some glorified defensive coordinator. Get out of here, man. This offense could be one of the best in the league if you could address the offensive line, but no matter what it is, you know what's funny? That brings another guy. Going back to that Packers game where where your defense was struggling against Aaron Rodgers on one leg. People talk about, our record is 4-3-1. Why else do we have that tie record? Why else do we have that one tie on our record right now besides the defense screwing up? Why is it that we have that one tie on our record right now? Because Rick Spielman, I criticized him too, and no, you don't criticize him either. Look at all the work he's done. This is not some lifetime achievement award. We're talking about every single win and loss matters so much in this loaded NFC conference. Why do we have a tie on our record? Because you thought we need to go out of our way to upgrade a kicker. All right? This team, this coaching staff, and that GM possibly cost us 2 extra wins that we could have on our belt right now. We are 4-3-1, right? We should be what? If we're 4-3-1, we should be 6-2. We should be sick. We could arguably be 6-2 and in a much better position if it wasn't for this half-ass, lazy-ass, pathetic performance by the coaching staff and the GM. Get out of here, man. That's pathetic. Anybody that paid you don't sit here and screw. And Mike Zimmer, you get, I don't know what, last time I checked, $4 million annually, and that's the best you could do as a coach? And you're right. That reporter, and I made it known my feelings about that particular Vikings beat writer. It is what it is. I'm not going to hash that back up. But to his credit, that was the right question to ask. This has been going on all season long. Your entire tenure as head coach, Mike Zimmer, has been laziness on clock management. That is not going to get it done. Down 30 seconds left with 2 timeouts, or down 3 scores with 9.5 minutes left. Do you think the LA Rams or the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots or any team that thinks they have a chance to be Super Bowl contenders are going to sit there and lay down and just take it? Man, get that weak-ass stuff out of here. So anyway, that was a necessary emergency podcast. Hopefully this is the last one I do. I tried to stay calm. I tried to keep it together, but I couldn't do it. So anyway, we really do this once a week. Mediokr Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, on Twitter @realistic_Randy, or Facebook @realistic Randy. We will see you next week.